In this video, I'm doing a position analysis from the 2024 UBC Contender Tournament. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, so I can work on that. I appreciate your super thanks. These small donations help me continue to create the high quality content that you enjoy. And with the membership feature, you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. So again, I'm doing a position analysis from the 2024 UBC Contender Tournament. So UBC stands for Ultimate Backgammon Championship. And this was organized by Marc, Olsen, and Backgammon Galaxy. The way it works is you get the best players in the world to play against each other, and each player in the contender portion plays multiple matches against different opponents, and you get 1 point if you actually win the match, and you get 1 point if you get a better PR, performance rating. So you really have to play well. So the contender tournament usually occurs in the middle of the year, and they get many players, and the winner of that tournament plays the defending champion usually towards the end of the year. So this year, the defending champion is Masayuki Mochizuki, top rated player in the world. And this was in this position is in the finals between two of the best players in the world, very young players, Zdenek Zizka or Zizi from Czech Republic and Ryan Rebelo from Canada. And they were playing on the beautiful Backgammon Galaxy Monte Carlo board with the new Paul McGreal inlay. So you see the black surface with the yellow and green points with red and white checkers are those from the cover of Paul McGreal's legendary book Backgammon. So these are beautiful colors, really easy to see. The XG board is made by Rain. There's a link in the description to where you can get them. He makes beautiful XG boards. So this is the position. This was a 7-point match. Ryan is playing the red checkers at the top. Zizi or Zdenek Zizka is playing the white checkers at the bottom. So this is the first game of a 7-point match, 0-0 to 7 or 7 away, 7 away. So red is on roll, indicated by the dice at the upper left. This is the position, and red is on roll with a cube decision. So pause the video, think about what you do, and we'll take a look at the analysis in a moment. Okay, so this turns out to be a borderline no double, very close to a double. So let's see. When you're assessing a position in terms of a doubling decision, you want to look at these things. Identify your strengths and weaknesses and those of your opponents. For example, you can have a racing lead, you can have a priming structure, you can have an attacking or blitzing structure, or you have threats of accomplishing one of these kinds of things. So in this position, red is behind in the race, so white has a lot of racing potential. However, white is on the bar, so red has the initiative. Red's going to be able to do something, and white may roll a dancing number after that, which will give red another roll. Red has a 3-point board on the top right, and white has a 4-point board on the lower right. So therefore, in a hitting exchange, white would be a favorite with a stronger board, unless red strengthens the board. Also notice that white has a blot in the board, so if red were to be hit, red has a chance to hit white back. Looking at the good numbers, red can hit with 5-2 or 4-3. And red can make the 5-point with a lot of rolls. In particular, Double 3 will make the 5-point and the 7-point for a strong prime. Double 5 will make the 5-point and come out with both checkers. So there are a lot of good numbers. Next, you have to identify market-losing sequences. So what is a market-losing sequence? For those that are not familiar with the term, a market-losing sequence is a sequence of two rolls, one by you and the next by your opponent, that makes the resulting position into a pass when it was a take before the sequence. Okay? So to find market losing sequences, what you need to do is the following. Determine what your next objective is. Determine what your opponent's next objective is. Identify good rolls for yourself. Sometimes they call them jokers, and identify bad rolls for your opponent, which are anti-jokers for the opponent. So, looking at this position again, the Reds' objectives are to hit or make the 5-point. Okay, so Red's good rolls include the 5-2 and 4-3 that hit. Notice that 6-1 does not hit, as well as double 5 and double 3 that make the 5-point. So this is a table of partial market losing first rolls. So each cell represents one roll on the immediate next roll by Ray. This is double 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, and so forth, and there's an average on the right. So these are the rolls where your equity, this displays the resultant equity after each of those rolls. Okay, so if the equity is 1 or more, that's a market losing sequence. However, this is only the first roll. The opponent still has to roll. Therefore, this is called a partial market losing sequence. So the way the color coding works here is if the value, the equity value is 1 or higher, it is a market losing sequence because afterwards it would be a pass because it's greater than 1. And that is colored blue. The higher the value, the darker the blue. If it's anything less than 1.0, then it is white. So you can see here, double 3 and double 5 are the big ones, and 5, 2, and 4, 3, which occur twice, are other ones. Okay, but there are other ones like 5, 1 that's really strong, 5, 3, 4, 5, 4, and so forth. So let's look at what happens. Let's say red doubles and now rolls a double 3. So you play like this, makes the 5-point, 3-point, solid 5 prime with the back of the prime slotted, and that's really good. There are 20 dancing numbers, and even if white comes in, it's only really good with a 2-6, and still red can hit back with 2s and 4-1. Okay, double 5 plays like this, resulting in this position, and that's very solid. There are no shots. 5-2 can hit like this, resulting in this position, and 4-3 does the exact same thing. Now let's look at white's objectives. White's objectives in this position are to enter the checker from the bar and safety the blot on the 14 point because it's a liability. It can be hit. Preferably to the 5 point here. That way the white will have spares on multiple different points. So white's bad rolls from here include all of the dancing numbers, double 6, double 4, double 3, 6, 4, 6, 3, and 4, 3. And if red makes another inner board point, like the 5 point, all those like the double 5, 6, 5, 5, 4, 5, 3 would be bad as well. So these are the partial market losing second rolls, the second roll. So you see any of these like the double 6, 6, 4, 6, 3, double 4, double 3, and 4, 3, which all dance. And there are a lot of other numbers that are also very strong. So again, let's say red rolled a 4, 2 or something like that, and then brought 2 in. Now white is on a roll, double 6, cannot move. And this would be the same with double 4, double 3, 6, 4, 6, 3, or 4, 3. So that's a bad sequence for the opponent. The next thing to do to try to understand a position and find out what key aspects of the position, what the key aspects are that make it a double versus not a double, is to modify the position. So you modify the position to see what the effects are on the doubling decision. So a lot of people ask me, oh, well, you can't learn from XG because it doesn't talk to you. This is the way you learn. You do little experiments. So you modify the position, change it around a little bit to see what the effect is, and then you see those differences in terms of the numbers, and then you learn from that. So making this change may make it stronger. Making another change may make it weaker, and then you can see how much stronger, how much weaker, and what kinds of changes make the position stronger or weaker. For example, leaving a blot, improving the race, all sorts of different things. So we'll look at that. So this was the original position. Okay, so on the rollout, it's a borderline no double. So you could double. It's not a big error to double at all. Now, the next position, no blot. So here I move the blot from this point, the 14 point, to the 15 point, and now it becomes a big no double. So what that means is that threat of hitting this blot with the 5-2 and 4-3 is worth about 100 millipoints, 150 millipoints or so. Okay, so that's important. If there were no blot, then it wouldn't be a double for sure. Now let's say it was a direct shot. So the blot is moved here. So now red can hit with 5s, 4-1, and 3-2. Notice that 4-1 is also duplicated to make the 5 point. That's much stronger. And this is a very strong double, but it's still a take. Now we change it to a diversified shot. So what that means is you can hit with 4s, but 4s aren't good on the other side. And now it's much stronger. The fact that that 4-1 was duplicated was important, because now there are more numbers that hit. Basically, the 4s, there's a 3-1 here that's duplicated here, but all the 4s, as well as 3-1, will hit, and then there are other numbers like, what is it, 5-3, 5-2, 5-1, and 3-2, and 3-1, which is duplicated in 2-1, as well as the doubles, like double 1s, 3s, 5s. A lot of them hit or make the 5 point. So that makes it much stronger, and that becomes close to a pass. Let's say we make the 5 point instead of the 3 point. Now it's stronger. Now it's a correct double, and the equity value is stronger, but it's still a comfortable take because of only the 3 point board and the large lead in the race that white has. Now let's give red good 6s. So I move the checker to the 11 point. So now the 6s that don't work here, they're blocked. They work well here, like 6-1, 6-3, 6-4, and 6-5. Make a point, make the 5 point. Okay, only 6-2 would be awkward. So that makes it stronger. That makes it into a double. Now let's make it into a 4 point board. So that was huge. That makes it into a pass. Okay, the reason why is because now instead of 9 dancing numbers for white, there are 16 dancing numbers, or possibly more if he makes the 5 point. So that makes it really strong. So those are the kinds of things that we do. So the tips for this position and these types of positions is you want to identify your strengths and your weaknesses as well as those of your opponent. You want to think about market losing sequences. Think about what are the good rolls for you, what are the bad rolls for you, what are the good rolls and bad rolls for your opponent, and then think about all of those things, and that will help you decide whether it's a correct double. Do you have enough market losing sequences? John O'Hagan has a rule called O'Hagan's Law that if you have 9 net market losing sequences and the rest of the time you're doing okay, then it's a double in general. Now, you might have to modify it if the score is uneven, but in general, what that means is if you have 9 out of 36 rolls net that are really good, then it's a it's a correct double. But what happens is the other 27 times you have to be doing okay. Let's say there are 9 really good jokers, but maybe there are 2 or 3 really bad anti-jokers. You have to subtract that from the 9, and that brings you down to less than 9. So it may not be a double. So if you have, for example, 12 really good rolls, but 3 really bad rolls, the difference of 12 and 3 is 9, and you're at that point where it's probably a double. Okay, and then if you still don't understand it, what you want to do is modify the position to understand key aspects, just like I did. And then you want to think about how each of those roles play. So think about all of the roles. So I go through the roles mentally in my head from biggest to smallest, starting with non-doubles, and then going to doubles. So what I do is I think about how 6-5 plays, then 6-4, then 6-3, and so on. 6-2, 6-1, then 5-4, 5-3, 5-2, and so forth. And then I look at the doubles, and I think about how many of those are really good, how many of them are really bad. So that's how you find market losing sequences. You do the same thing for your opponent. Sometimes when they're on the bar, it's really easy to calculate because if there's a 3-point board, they're 9 dancing numbers. Okay. And then, as I mentioned, modify the position to understand the key aspects. So we saw that when you make a 4-point board, that makes it really strong. When you change certain aspects, like moving the blot around and moving the checkers around, it'll change the number of rolls that do something good. So that gives you an indication of the important factors in each position. So that was a position analysis from the 2024 UBC Contender. This was the finals between Zizi and Ryan Rebelo. The winner plays Mochi later this year. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below and what you'd like to see in future videos so I can work on that. I appreciate your super thanks. These small donations help me continue to create the high quality content that you enjoy. And with the membership feature, you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos. Again, my book, Backgammon Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. And until then, keep rolling your dice.